It's getting increasingly clear now that Iran's military might has left even Donald Trump, the president of the USA, the most powerful country in the world, in a state of absolute shock. Now, his angry reaction to Benjamin Netanyahu's ceasefire violation yesterday is beginning to make perfect sense.
Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Are you questioning if Israel is committed?
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I'd never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
If you watch Donald Trump's press conference at The Hague in the Netherlands today, you would understand what I'm talking about. I mean, the guy looked traumatized. Three things that came out loud and clear from his press conference are the following. First, he is clearly not happy with certain media platforms who reported that the US B-2 stealth bombers had failed to obliterate Iran's nuclear facilities in Fordo. Second, Iran's ability to hit Israel hard and then retaliate the US aggression by targeting the largest military base in the Gulf region with ballistic missiles have left him in a state of shock. And third, he doesn't want to have anything to do with Iran going forward, even if it means Iran bypassing the US sanctions and selling oil to countries around the world. Now let's look at these points in detail. Remember, this channel was the first to tell you, lovely people, how US bombers had failed to damage the Iranian nuclear facility, particularly in Fordo. You can watch my video here. Later, several US media networks had carried similar stories. Trump was brutal against those media outlets today, including MSNBC, CNN, and the New York Times, insulting their representatives during the press conference and calling them fake news.
But I just want to thank our pilots. You know, they were maligned and treated very bad, demeaned by fake news CNN, which is back there, believe it or not, wasting time, nobody's watching them. So they're just wasting a lot of time, wasting my time. And the New York Times, they put out a story that, well, maybe they were hit, but it wasn't bad. Well, it was so bad that they ended the war. It ended the war. Somebody said in a certain way, you know, that it was so devastating, actually. If you look at Hiroshima, if you look at Nagasaki, you know, that ended a war too. This ended a war in a different way, but it was so devastating. Also, they have, out of Dubai, just came that Iran's foreign ministry spokesman, this is Iran's foreign ministry, says it's near its nuclear installations were very badly damaged by the American strike. So what bothered me about these reports with fake reports put out by the New York Times, failing, I call it the failing New York Times because it's doing terribly. Without me, it would be doing no business at all. But, and by fake news, CNN and MSDNC, all of these terrible people, you know, they have no credibility. You know, when I started, they were at 94% credibility, the media. Now it's at 16%. And I'm very proud of it because I've exposed it for what it is. But when I saw them starting to question the caliber of the attack, was it bad? Well, it was really bad. It was devastating. They were obliterated. Oh, fake news, CNN? Oh, yeah. Here we go. Wait till you hear this question. You should really say how great our soldiers and our warriors are.
I think everyone appreciates our soldiers and our warriors. I do have two questions for you, Mr. President. You just cited Israeli intelligence on these attacks. Earlier, you said U.S. intelligence was inconclusive. Are you relying on Israeli intelligence for your assessment of the impact of the strikes?
No, this is also Iran made the statement. And it's also, if you read the document that was given, that Pete can talk about if you'd like, the document said it could be very severe damage, but they didn't take that. They said it could be limited or it could be very severe. They really didn't know, other than to say it could be limited or it could be very, very severe. And you didn't choose to put that because it was very early after. Since then, we've collected additional intelligence. We've also spoken to people who have seen the site, and the site is obliterated. And we think everything nuclear is down there. They didn't take it out.
So, Mr. President, you talked about expecting some on-the-ground assessments at Fordo and other sites.
Now
is that Israeli and U.S.?
It's been obliterated, Kelly. It's been
What is your message then, sir, to the intelligence community when they present reports? You're not disputing the DIA report. You're just
They presented a report that wasn't finished. We're talking about something that took place 3 days ago.
I understand that's
the report was done
assessment. So
2 days ago. Wait a minute.
Yes.
They didn't see it. All they can do is take a guess. Now, if you take a look at the pictures, if you take a look how it's all blackened, you know the fire and brimstone is all underground because it's granite and it's all underground. You don't show it. But even there, with all of that being said, the whole area for 75 yards around the hole where it hit is black with fire. The group that's run by this gentleman, in fact, you may want to talk about it for a second because we're going to issue a report. And I think it's not even a very exciting report at this point. It's been obliterated, totally obliterated. And they did a report, but it was like, if you look at the dates, it's just a few days after it happened.
Sir.
So they didn't see it. They said it may be very severe.
Understood. Do you have a message for the intelligence community, though, in terms of unvarnished information getting to you, that it's not...
I don't really have a message. I would say issue the report when you know what happened. I wouldn't say that it could be severe or maybe not. They use the word severe. It could be severe or maybe it's not.
And
so people like you picked up and said, oh, it's not severe. No, the report was not a complete report. Yeah, the message was probably wait till you know the answer before you...
Today was the third time he spoke about Iran's bravery during the 12-day conflict with Israel. Not only that, it is clear that Trump doesn't want to get embroiled in the conflict with Iran anymore. His thrust on Iran's bravery and refusal to use any word of criticism against the Islamic Republic ever since Tehran fired ballistic missiles targeting the US military base in Qatar shows one important fact. Trump has realized Iran is no pushover. It has a potential to hurt the US, thereby wrecking its economy. And Trump, the businessman, is in no mood to let that happen. When a reporter asked if he would want a written assurance from Iran that it wouldn't pursue nuclear program in the future, Trump said he was not going to ask for any written assurance, i.e., have any agreement with Tehran on this matter.
They were very nice. They gave us warning. They said, we're going to shoot him. Is 1 o'clock okay? They said, it's fine. And everybody was emptied off the base, so they couldn't get hurt except for the gunners. They call them the gunners. And out of 14 high-end missiles that were shot at the base in Qatar.
Can I ask you, are you interested in restarting negotiations with Iran? And if so, have they reciprocated?
So our people, Marco could answer this, but our people are not, I'm not. The way I look at it, they fought, the war's done, and, you know, I could get a statement that they're not going to go nuclear. We're probably going to ask for that. But they're not going to be doing it. But they're not going to be doing it anyway. They've had it. They've had it. Now, maybe someday in the future we'll want that. But I've asked Marco, do you want to draw, I just asked him the question as we were walking on the stage, do you want to draw up a little agreement for them to sign? Because I think we can get them to sign it. I don't think it's necessary.
Isn't this a radical shift from his hawkish stand only a few days ago? Now it explains why he was so incensed when Israel broke the ceasefire yesterday. He had realized that Netanyahu's reckless action would have made the US future targets of Iran, and he doesn't want to be in that predicament. He also said in no uncertain terms that Iran was free to sell oil to any country it wished, particularly its largest buyer, China. When a reporter asked if this meant the US sanction didn't apply to Iran anymore, Trump said Iran needed to rebuild the country. He didn't make it conditional. He didn't say a word about the US sanctions on Iran. Watch this clip for yourself.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Yesterday, you said China can now continue to purchase oil from Iran.
Yeah.
Are you giving up on your maximum pressure campaign? Because
With
there's
who?
sanctions right now
With who?
on Iran.
No, look, they just had a war. The war was fought. They fought it bravely. I'm not giving up. They're in the oil business. I mean, I could stop it if I wanted. I could sell China the oil myself. I don't want to do that. They're going to need money to put that country back into shape. We want to see that happen. Would it? No, if they're going to sell oil, they're going to sell oil. We're not taking over the oil. We could have, you know. I used to say with Iraq, keep the oil. I could say it here, too. We could have kept the oil. No, China is going to want to buy oil. They can buy it from us. They can buy it from other people. But you're going to have to put that country back into shape. It desperately needs money.
Trump is the kind of person who likes to push the envelope, but knows his limit also. He bombed the Houthis, but when he realized he was fighting a losing battle, he didn't hesitate in striking a deal with the Yemeni fighters. It seems he's decided the same with Iranians. I wouldn't call it cowardice. He's just being practical. Letting Israel slaughter unarmed and defenseless Palestinians in Gaza and the occupied West Bank doesn't directly pose security threat to or hurt business interests of the US. But provoking Iran has different consequences altogether. And Trump appears to have realized that. Are slave Arab rulers watching? Iran has clearly emerged as the new leader of the Islamic world. And even these slave Arab rulers would be acknowledging this bitter truth privately. That's it from me. Thank you very much for your support of this platform and our journalism on buymeacoffee.com and Patreon. If you do think that our journalism is worth supporting, then you too should consider becoming part of it. Details are there in the description of this video. In the meantime, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, because that's one of the many ways you can support independent journalism. God bless you all.